another guest. Very happy of this guest because perhaps someone of you knows him. I'm not that sure. In New York, they know him. In some other places, they know him. And they're very happy to listen to him quite often. And I had that pleasure too when I went to New York some time ago. He lives in New York. He's not a native New Yorker, but we can say that he's a New Yorker now. But I think that in his soul is an international one. He's a musician. Is Alberto Pibiri, and I can tell also with another pronunciation, Alberto Pibiri, or how they call there. I don't know how they can change his name. And he has a quite a peculiar and very nice history as a musician. He comes from an island from which my ancestors are. And he went to France, if you read in his biography, and then he went to New York. And I read into your biography that it was Sheila Jordan responsible for your moving to New York. Is it?
Is it? Should I speak English or Italian? What do you think?
English, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no, Sheila, I met Sheila when I was in Paris, as she used to work with a piano player that with who I used to take some lesson called Serge Forte, and we became friends, and I used to follow his workshop with Sheila, and we became friends, and eventually I ended up to do some of her workshop in Paris,
Yeah.
and I was like, I think at that time 24, 25 years old, and I was working in Paris and performing there and teaching conservatory. So I was a full-time musician, and but New York was always my dream pocket, and that's why I went several times as a tourist over there, and I always been in touch with Sheila. And one day she asked me, she told me, "Oh, you should really come to the city. People will love you here." And I say, "Okay, thank you. How?" And a friend of mine, I can't remember. I think was the drummer Luca Santaniello.
Yeah, possible.
Possible. Like I think at that time it was doing what we call the artist visa or O1 visa for people, and it told me, oh, there is artist visa, blah blah blah. You need a sponsor, you need to prepare the book for it. And so I told Sheila, and Sheila told me, don't worry about it. I can be your sponsor. I said, all right, let's do that. So it happened that I prepared the book, and she signed the letter, and she became my sponsor, and this like changed my life because I went after when I was 30 years old. I basically started my journey in the US, and I actually left everything because I had a good job and I had a good economic situation. I was living actually very close to the Tuileries. So if anybody knows where Paris, Tuileries is right in front of the Louvre
It's a
Museum.
fantastic place.
Yeah, it's a very fancy area. Sorry,
How long have you been in Paris?
eight 8 years.
Okay.
8 years in Paris. So I do speak fluently French, and like it's been a fantastic experience. But like I'm
I am
always sorry.
French. I am French too. And
Uh-huh.
French are very nice and very generous and they cherish good musicians. They really love them since historically it's a tradition
Yes, and it's
to
fantastic
give a
because
good
you can
place to
travel.
them.
You can travel in Europe by just taking the train, and you can
That's
be in so many different places. Beautiful, beautiful. And so I had
But
so
it
much
wasn't
good.
New York.
No, not at all, not at all. But like one thing is to go there as a tourist, like I was doing at the time, and spend like few weeks. But another thing is to live there. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And then there is what we call money, what we call work, and working in New York, especially when you are at the beginning, it's not easy. You really have to want it if you want to stay there. But that's what I wanted to go. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted to be.
in some sort of this kind of thing that you are saying is the reason why I asked you to be my guest. Because into my pedagogical path, that, as we said previously, I work mostly on the quality of the voice to make a voice an instrument of quality. But then you have the head, the cognitive, how you choose and how you maintain into something that it goes somewhere, but sometimes you don't see where you're going. You hope that it's going, but you don't clearly see. While I know perfectly that the process will bring you in some very happy place, but you have to maintain it, and you have to maintain it long enough that at a certain point it will show itself as the gift that it is. But before, if the process is not correct, it will not get to this gift. If you don't maintain long enough, you will not get there. But if you maintain a certain kind of process, you will certainly get there. And I think that's something that you showed me so clearly. I knew from classical music because I was a solist in classical music, and I saw that for myself without needing of big names as mentorship to call me for work. I just did into a certain kind of process and into learning how I was and how I had to navigate the process. Trial and error, patience, knowing that you're going to be more wrong than right, but you're going to adapt. And you're going
see
to...
my shirt?
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Holy patience. That's what you need.
But I have the idea that from the first time I met you in New York, and I think that it was perhaps the first year that you were in New York when we met, because I came there in 2012.
Yeah, I think it was like my second or third year, more or less. But still, like, still, I would say like the very beginning of my journey, and like, I was just like, I wanted to add something on the things that you just told me, that you just told before, which are all totally true, and agree with that. I would say like what really helped me from at least I can just talk from my experience, and every experience is of course is different, but what really helped me even since I was a kid is because we don't know actually, we are kind of going into a philosophic aspect of life, but I would say you don't really know all the path that you are going through, where you are now in the present moment. But if you have in your mind the destination point, if you picture yourself into the destination point, that's where you will get it.
What did you feel when you were a kid as destination point?
Where I am right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking, I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe in really manifesting your reality, your as a general, your. I was speaking for myself. I believe in manifest my own reality, and picturing myself in New York, playing jazz, great jazz musician. I was manifesting and picture that in my mind every single day since I was like, I would say 14, 15 years old. Yeah.
Right.
So
I have some of mine who want to manifest that, but they believe into the marketing hype. And I know that it doesn't work because they show you something for which they take advantage eventually of it.
I can see that. I can see that. And it's not wrong. I wouldn't see it.
No, tell me better your point. Tell me well your point.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to argue with that. Everybody has his own vision. Don't get me wrong, and they are not wrong, because these days, me and you comes from a very different generation.
Yeah,
from these kids.
This is certain.
How old are they, if I may ask you, more or less, just to have some idea?
But when I say the hype, they are something in between 16 and 25, 26.
Oh, I would say in this case it's about 2 generations ahead. I'm not saying my age. I don't want that. So anyway, yeah, no, they are right, 100%. And because these days and I can see for myself, which I'm actually sometimes hesitating and resisting to it, like social media, it is the way
Yeah, no, no,
to show yourself, especially like Instagram,
yeah.
etc. Sometimes you can hope that somebody, if they see your video doing something, may access to that.
I love that. No, no. When I say they fall for the hype and they've taken advantage, I don't talk about social media.
Oh, okay,
I
sorry.
love social media. I think that they've taken away something that in New York was not so present, but in other places, yes, that is the filter to make yourself heard. Okay. So also to instigate the law of attraction in the meaning that you do exist and you want that your vibration and your putting out will find in parallel those that will work with you or they are similar or they can interact with you to make some grow in some music, etc. No, what I was talking about is that they say and they think sometimes that it doesn't matter at all to grow. They just have to put out into Spotify the most. They just have to put the video to look like if they were serious. But then they don't, it's not, they will eventually mind of growing when they get famous. And to me, this is the weak point. The point is
Yeah, I can see now.
that you grow into and you have to grow while you're doing.
Mhm, mhm.
Otherwise, when someone says, oh, I would like to work with that, you're not ready. And if you're not ready,
Uh,
you're going down. If you're
I,
not ready and you didn't make yourself ready, you go down.
well,
Because
I
the
have to
roots,
stop you there. I have to stop you there because, like, I can understand this mentality, and I can see your worries as a teacher, you know, and we as a teacher and as educator, we try to prepare the student as the best as they can be.
not the
Uh,
best, not the best, yet the minimal, just the minimal.
just the
See,
minimum. Okay,
for
okay.
them to start playing the play as it must be played.
Yes. At the same time, at the same time, the experience itself is
But they don't do
from.
experience. The problem is that they avoid experience.
Oh well, then they should experience as much as possible because
Exactly.
from my
Exactly.
experience, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Like when
I know you weren't ready.
I didn't know like when I started working like all standards that people ask me to play on the gig, you know. But
But you know, they avoid playing.
no, let me finish. But like after after and that's what I will suggest to those people, like learn study what you don't know, because then the next time they call you, then you will be ready for it. So that was my things that I'm still doing now. Like I always keep learning, keep be curious about what's going on, keep inform myself. Like the curiosity is what actually makes you alive. That's what like it's just like being if you see a kid, for example, they are curious about everything, and then what makes you feel like alive and want to learn. Because if you think you know everything, then you stop to do something, right? So my suggestion is put yourself in situations that are scary, because that's what these situations are what actually make you grow. Not scary at the point that you can do it, but it doesn't at this point doesn't really matter because you will still learn something from it.
Yeah.
It will help to put the ego down. It will help to put like your expectation down, and then you start to humble yourself. And that's I came to New York with no expectation, and that was a huge plus for me because I can see so many new Italian people. I'm saying names, or even European people coming to New York asking me how to get gigs. I don't even answer to it. you know, I don't even ask me how to, because like it just matter. It's really about mm, it's really about con- connecting, human connection.
Yeah.
And that works everywhere you are. So if you show yourself that you are humble, you're ready to learn, want to work, you likely get the job. If you show yourself that you know everything and you want to show off, not many chance.
That's something that I say all the time to those who know the hype, don't know the answers. They don't put themselves out because they know exactly where they want it. They don't do anything else. The thing is, I don't know if you'll get where you want by that.
Well, it's something we can control. They have to learn.
And try and being there and say, I don't know, I put out my energy, I put out my view on music, hoping to let myself play in that situation, not knowing exactly how I will do, but trusting that I will be enough, even if I'm not, but just being there and playing with you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can control because that's is their life. And you know, when I teach, I just teach. To me, the main goal is to give some basics and first of all to give the passion for the music, because without that, it's over. You know, if you don't have something that drives you every day to wake up early in the morning and work for it, then it becomes very hard to make a life with. And also, it's something that you don't control. Like, yes, was a choice that I did for myself, but at the same time, it's hard work, and that's why I agree with what you were saying. Like, you know, wanting without putting the source into it is they don't go together. You will be limited, and that's why you need to work hard um, every day. It's a job. It's a job. That's why in English here they say I have to work even if you have to go and play music, because it's a work. Not just the kid, also the time that you put in the house to keep the instruments and to keep you engaging with the music, breathing with the music, and make a life. That's what it's called a life of a musician. Like, it's music 24 hours. Not in your mind, outside, with the instruments, without the instruments, you know.
I remember when I was in New York that I came to listen to you in different settings. For me, it was, in here, it's exactly as when I was a soloist also said, you have different kind of situations. And you just put yourself there with the love that you have for the music, the fact that it's a job and you want to do the better job you can. Sometimes you do a great job, sometimes you do the best you can, that is your level, because for me the level is the lowest point at which you can get, and then you try to put these higher. But I remember in some restaurants, etc., with that great professionality and passion still, because you're there, you're just playing and it's your job and you're entertaining people. That's fantastic.
No matter what, no matter where you play, because sometimes, I don't know if there exists this mentality or whatever, but like sometimes, it's just a restaurant, whatever. No, you know, I mean, there's the difference between New York and other person. You never know. You never know who's gonna show up in the room. You never know who's gonna
always more people than you think.
Yeah, one time I was playing. One time I was playing in a it was in a restaurant, Italian restaurant, and Woody Allen was there. You know, so just few story, and but beside that, it doesn't really matter. Like, I would like come back on what you were saying about level. I stopped thinking that way. I don't think anymore about level. I feel that everyone is his own journey, and but that's then, you know, and that's led me to come back on the social media icon. But let me finish this thought first. Like, everybody's on journey, everybody's his own story, and that's why everybody play different, and that's a good thing. That's some problems I have about with the music schools. in the US.
Tell me better if you want.
Absolutely. Well, everybody from Julia, they all sound the same.
Yeah.
They all sound the same. Berkeley, the same attitude. And, you know, there is not individualism too much. And like, I feel lucky for myself that you know, I mean, I got a master at Queen's College, but from during the pandemic. But whatever I learn, it's a mix about what I like, and I build myself this. I'm so proud because, you know, like you like this, you like Bill Evans, you like Oscar Peterson, you like Lincoln Kelly. How can I make these people me? You know, and that's what is the most important.
Absolutely.
To be individual, and it's not something that you have to study. In a way, don't get me wrong in that you have to study, you have to practice, but like it's something that will eventually become natural. It's something that will one day you wake up and say, "Oh, that's me," you know. And then you can see in the recording, because you can see the more recording you do, like they all sound different because it's a different part of life of yourself, and you express yourself through the recording. And I think that's beautiful. And I stop as well try to emulate people. I mean, emulate people is great, you know, to learn and stuff. But then there's something superior, which is actually express yourself and use the language for yourself. Jazz is a language, like Italian, like English. You learn the letter, you learn the phrase, you learn the grammar. You can make sometimes mistake, but then you can formulate your own phrase with the same tools. And the same things is music.
But when I was talking about level, I was not talking about becoming something into a frame that is recognized as level. To me, that is not level. Level is that you have to learn the language, you have to learn the tools, at bits you have to practice. Otherwise, we are talking about nothing.
Oh yeah. In that case, basic level.
Yeah, basic level. Because sometimes it looks like with the hype, etc., that you don't need it. You know, I work a lot with professionals, and the thing that they tell me all the time is that I don't know what you're doing to me, but I have a lot of luck since I met you.
Oh.
Also said, they start calling, no, because I make them as I can, of course, but my goal is to make something that they have been into what they're doing. And they say, oh, they're searching for me, they're looking for me. I don't have to look for. No, you don't have to look for. You're not a promoter. You must be that kind of vibration of you that is seen from very far. And I'm one of those giving you some tricks, some tools, some logics to help you into this part of yours. Not that you come to me and you are Rita Franklin. If you are Rita Franklin, I'll help you. But if you're not a Rita Franklin, it's okay, because you must be you.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you have something very special, it is the technique disappears there, because it looks like if you were born like that, because you become that. And then you have some parts, some accelerations, etc. And it is much more interesting. And I think that when I talk about the hype, it is that it takes away this. That is probably the root of musicians, and why we want musicians, and why we explore, we invent, we do some crazy things, we mix the genres, etc. And it's fantastic, it is very interesting. And there you know for yourself it has a value. Even just of transition, you know something inside yourself, I have to get there, I have to do that. Yeah, sometimes it's a transitional point that brings them, it was nothing, but it did bring me much power into something that was of value. And I've always felt that you were looking for that too.
Yeah, thank you. No, it is. It is. But the mentality, the mindset, as you said at the beginning, is so important. Like, I always look for something to play different, some project that I'm interested to based on what I like.
What are you searching for now of different from when you were in Paris? If you want to say, if you have an idea.
What I'm searching now that is different from what is Paris? Uh, it's a really good question. I've been in kind of crisis in a way because like that's a really philosophical to me. Like, because I told you that I wanted to become a jazz musician in New York since I was 13. Now I am that, right? I'm playing with people, I'm having festival, recording, blah 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 blah. And then what? What do I do next? You know, that's my philosophical question. You know, and you know, and one thing actually helping me is find new goals, finding new goals different from the music, and actually I'm going to that direction because I'm doing another master right now, another master degree in orchestration.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I want to compose for film and video games for the media industry, and that's, you know, it's something that is still related to music, but it's more like beyond that. Like the orchestra is a way bigger instrument than the piano itself. So, you know, I'm analyzing scores and doing exams and understanding better what's a composer job. At the same time, I'm doing still my life as a musician, and it's fantastic because because again, as I said before, that put me in a challenge mode, and that's what I love, because otherwise I get so bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm so bored.
And do you think you are going to compose what? Do they teach you a kind of music to compose, or do they teach you the orchestration for just the orchestration?
They teach me orchestration basic, and you know, I can compose for a string quartet, I can compose for a quintet, for woodwinds, brass. You know,
Yeah, but what are you seeing yourself composing? Are you composing a mix? Because I have the idea since 15 years that pop music will be the new synthesis of the classical music. It will take into, and it will get somewhere else. Also said they have the freedom to reinvent without the academic weight on their shoulders. And I see some crazy things happening there. Really interesting, really interesting.
Yeah,
And
I
I think
agree.
jazz and classical are going to mix there because it's where you have the freedom and you have the market also, and you have the application. So it's
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I agree. And the beauty, it's I'm applying the same principle to what I did with my piano playing and with my jazz life. It is like to learn the tools and then do your own thing.
okay.
Which
I
is like I want to mix classical with jazz, or even be able to take a melody, whatever melody comes in your mind, and then orchestrate as you want. That's cool.
I
And then
tried.
learn the technologies. And then I finish let you do, and then learn the technology, because I'm totally I'm still starting, and I'm putting my brain into it, learning the computer, learning the sampling, how to program the sound, the MIDI, and it's just like another world. But that what makes me alive, to actually be into this world that I don't know, and then give me different new skills that I can use eventually for the future. You know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That was my just thought.
No. I see that you're going starting another direction. Now I was thinking of your playing piano, how you will put that into all this, because I'm certain that you're going to.
Of course. Of course. That's the whole point. Even just trio with orchestra, do some crazy stuff. Especially also mixing What I'm into, it's electronic music, so mixing some electronic with acoustic and do some. I don't know yet. I give myself 10 years. It's just like a business plan, That's sort of like how you gonna be in the next 10 years, and that's how I see myself as a composer, and I try to picture myself. So it's something that I'm looking forward to it.
Do you picture yourself as just a composer or as a player, composer, and director also, conductor in some sort?
I don't know, maybe all of it.
No, it was just to ask if into your vision there was just some
It's
little
the process.
of those or not.
I'm in process of it. I'm in process of it. I just started last year, so
because I visualized you playing in the little conducting at the piano with.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I like that.
you know.
I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but by playing piano, being there and doing both.
Yeah.
Doing both.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Looks like we will see. Excited to see.
Maybe one day we're gonna do this meeting again in 10 years, and we're gonna a composer, beautiful. I have a beautiful stay in the house and just playing, and then stuff. Who knows? Maybe. Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But that's what drives me. That's what drives me. Interesting project that I looking forward of music that I think is valuable and is like, but that's only what I think. That's what I like. If people tell me play in this style, do this, I will do it. If they pay me, of course, but that's different.
It's a job.
Exactly.
It's a job.
It's a job. It's a job.
It's a beautiful job. It's a job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's alive. Like you have to keep studying. Music is such a there's always something to learn, and it's always in progress. Like all music is changing all the time.
Not only you're a human being, so you're in progress, changing all the time. So of course, if you can, you manage to have both into your work.
Yeah, I'm also interested on what the new generation likes, just for my own knowledge.
A lot of people, I don't know why in Europe, they say, no, it's really awful. It's not. They have some fantastic music, really, really good. When I was younger, there was not that level of music sometimes. And sometimes they have some tastes amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm amazed. Or perhaps I have some kind of students that they bring to me some fantastic things, but to me, they're pretty amazing. And the musical world is not that bad. It's really good and really plenty of things and structures and ideas and research and hypotheses and findings. I find it very nice. I wanted to ask you something. What did bring you to Paris? Just a job or what? How did
just a job, honestly.
Okay.
Just a job. Just a way to be closer to US.
Okay.
Yeah, no more than that.
The first step to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I was very young, and New York is a tough city. But anyway, I'm still here after 12 years. I don't see myself living in another city. Although, lately, I've been performing in Berlin, and I actually really dig the city. I really like a lot Berlin, and also the mentality of people there. It's really cool. It's the closest city to New York, I would say, in Europe.
I know some that from New York, they've been in Berlin for some time. But to really live there, if you're from New York, I see it difficult. I see that eventually you can spend 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, or come 1 month per year to interact and have that vibration. But I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
For classical music, it's pretty rich and pretty interesting, and a lot of singers from Korea and from United States gets to Berlin, because it's
Wow.
it's where things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for electronic music composition, is so abroad. There's lots, but like in New York, there is everything. Anything you ask, there is, and that's the beauty. It's just like it's just becoming very expensive. That's the only downside compared to a few years, 10 years ago, especially after the pandemic. Like the inflation went so high,
Okay.
and everything just costs like the double or the triple.
Is it still so cherishing and open to new talents, new musicians, or has it become a little less easy to get there and start there? I mean,
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
mean it's easy, it's very hard, but it was possible. Is it still the same, or has it changed a bit?
I met a few people that just arrived and they're already working, so I feel it's still possible. Yeah, people love a good musician. There is all the beauty of this city is that there is always something to do. There's
Yeah.
always work, and they love jazz more than anything else. So for people who play jazz music, that's the place where to stay.
For other kind of music, not sure.
No, classical is great level of
Not
classical. Yeah. No, it's just like, but you need to be patient. Like, don't expect to come in the city and be
Your
famous.
t-shirt. Show your t-shirt again.
And it's still loading. See, it's loading.
Yeah.
Never ending. You still to be patient, patient, and that's and also pragmatic and also constant. Like you don't have to practice like 5 hours, 6 hours per day.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to. When I was a kid, I used to practice
But,
8 hours,
it's
eight hours per day. I
it's
was
the
practicing eight
first
hours
thing.
per day.
Yeah,
8 hours.
I know. When I
But
became a singer, it was 8 hours for me too.
yeah,
Not singing, of course, because I couldn't, but I invented many, many exercises without producing the sound to optimize. But it's the first part. The first part is where you build something on which after you start doing with.
yeah. The next part is that you have to train your mind, and that's the most difficult because coming back to the social media, yes, they can be a fantastic tool, but they can be so destructive in a sense. You start comparing yourself to others and say, oh, I want to be them, or you think that if they do that in social media, if you do like them, then you are them, and there's that's not. Sorry, everybody's different with their own mentality, with their own things. I would say, be just you, be yourself. That's what will make yourself sound different and sound you. That's the right. That's the life part. Like it doesn't just apply to the music, but into your life. That's why the all things they go together. And at the same time, it is a great tool. What I'm kind of against right now, it's like all the platform like Spotify that doesn't pay anything to the musician, and it is just really, really, really bad, and it's become so expensive to make CDs, but at the same time, you have to do it because I mean, I'm just talking for myself. Like, if I have a music that I wanted to put out, I have to because you never know who's gonna listen to it. You wanna make people happy.
But you don't have to expect that they are the money for your life.
No, no, you absolutely
They are the
not.
money for your life as a musician. They are on the side in doing other things.
Yeah, but the funny things are like, I never thought about money. Money never driven me as a as,
But
as a value.
a little bit that it must become a job somewhere, yes. Yeah.
No, but I always accepted like gigs even that pays $50 at the very beginning. And
Yes. But
but
this is
like
that, for me, some of my students, even some professional teachers, no, if I don't have, I don't accept. It's work. You have the
it's
free time and you don't have a half pay for another gig that will cover, you do it. And also while doing, you're getting better in many things and you're going to gain other gigs.
and that's why I was doing, because it's all
Yes.
experience, and you learn so much from experience, so much. If you do the same, here what I say, if you do the exactly, and that's what sometimes I have troubles here in the city, but I understand why. And let me explain you this first. Like, so I play so many different bands that they all play the same songs over and over and over again, which in one side become not really challenging because after you play it, you know them. But that's how you, the other way, that's how you um, make perfect, and then make the best version as you can by repetition.
Okay.
And that's a great mentality instead of just like adding tune, adding tune, adding tune, adding tune, and then come back and knowing 100 tunes, level 1,
Yeah.
instead of knowing 10 tunes, level 100.
This is something that we cherished a lot in classical music.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
The
that
same
you
process.
can play many other things on the side, etc., but then you have a partner that gets into a level of depth and understanding that
Mhm.
can become something that you could never reach if you didn't do that for years and with
Yeah,
that level of repetition.
yeah, and that's an American mentality. That's what all the greatest did too. Like Bill Evans used to play like his like favorite 20 songs or 30 songs, and then put other songs in between. And that's how you create a set list. That's what the bands do right now. Everyone has his own 20, 30 songs that they keep repeating it over and over and over again. And once you know them, then okay, you can work regularly with this person. It's simple as that. But and again, you don't need to know 400 standards by memory. You learn from experience, and that's what happened to me when I first came into the city. And then, but I did one thing that I think was really helped me. It's make a sort of a database of people that I know and assign which songs each of them for color play.
Okay.
And that's actually something that a good student should do. They will help me so much. And then I figure it out, when I see this person, I know already what they might call, and it happens so many times that I already put on the database. That's what they will call. So I was okay. I know that. you know.
Um, that's pretty, not only smart, really, really, very bright. I
Just
know.
a suggestion. Just a suggestion.
Well, one of my students who is, she was student when she was teenager, then we stopped for a little, then we start again, as it happens very often. She's an emergent artist, also said in 1 year she's doing really good things. And she took her master, she's not jazz singer, she's pop, but she has a master in jazz vocal performance. And I told her, yeah, now start thinking on the side if you want to add a repertoire with which you are going to do convention situations, some marriages, some weddings, some in which the big band or the orchestra would be perfect. And vision yourself, start visioning yourself what kind of repertoire could be the perfect to be in parallel to your songs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
start thinking since means perhaps it will take 1 year or 2 years to really put the repertoire. But if she starts visioning herself, she sees where she's a writer and when it will take away from the original project. It will not be anymore in parallel, but it will be at the place of. At the place of, no. On the side, yes.
Yeah. And I would suggest just like find the 10 song, for example, really well arranged.
Yeah,
They are like I showed you. That's what they call it. Yeah, I showed you. That you know that works no matter what. If you
exactly,
have 10 of these and then you put some other songs in between, then you are all set.
exactly. And then you start imagining with which sound, with which kind of doing that, you get appropriate for that, and there the laws of attractions arrive.
Exactly, exactly. And then especially choose the song that calls you. And that's why every people are different because everybody, all these songs I like. If you feel that a song doesn't really work for you, don't do it. It's okay. Some other people will do it.
You
But
know,
do what?
just before calling you today,
Yeah,
I was listening again some of yours playing on YouTube, and what you're saying there is really resonating because it was exactly that. And then I will put the links at the end so they could find
oh,
it. No, of course, of course.
which link? Sorry, which YouTube link?
I saw once for Debbie, and I love you, Porgy.
Oh yeah, I like those. I like those a lot.
Yeah, I really love them. And then I heard, of course, the album with the singer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
It's
then
actually
some,
she's my wife. Actually, the singer.
yeah, I knew that. I knew
Yeah.
that. Not only you came from Paris to New York and from Sardinia to Paris and then New York. And New York made you find also. Did you met in New York with her?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. We met in New York, and it's been 8 years
Wow.
almost. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And
And hmm?
tell me, sorry. Go.
No, 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 I forgot. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I interrupted you because I have to start back my lessons. One last question. When you
Yes.
come to Italy, how is it the
Yeah.
feeling? Do you come often? Do you come playing often? Not so often?
They've said that crazy things I never played in Italy.
Really?
Hmm. Just sometimes when I was in Venice, but like I'm one of the anomaly. I wouldn't say anomaly, but I see really myself as a New Yorker because I mean I became a citizen now, so like I feel like really uh, more from here. But like Italy never gave me recognition for what I do. So which I don't care.
Of course you don't care. Of
which
course
I
you
doesn't matter. I don't work for this. My work it is for give something that people can be happy. I can give people a smile, and that's why I play. I don't work to be famous or to be recognized. I don't care about that.
you know
If
there is
my music is something, if my music means something to people, then that's what I care. You know,
yes, of course. But it
and
is a strange country. As
it
do you,
is.
Luca Guadagnino,
Who?
Luca Guadagnino, who makes movies. He said something. He's the only Italian that works with Americans, etc., and they give you him a producer. He says Italy is not interested by what happens in the other part of the world. It's somewhere it's true.
Mhm.
It's a bit okay, okay. It's your
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
Okay, but it's your choice.
But that's the mentality in Italy. There are like the 5 or 6 people, like the luckiest one that work and makes money, and all the others that they fight in the arena and then try to have I don't know a few gigs per month, which is great. But I that's why like I'm not really interested to perform when I come back. I'm just coming back to Sardinia and spend some times with my family, with my mom and dad, and that's it, and come back to my origin, to the value of the beauty to stay in Europe, to stay in Sardinia, with the beautiful island, and like have some calms from the crazy of the city, because there is a huge gap of mentality and value here compared to Sardinia, compared to us from where we come from Italy. Yeah. So I appreciate and really respect the different of values that both of these countries they do. But in US there is not balance too much because people work, money, work, money, etc. That's what drives people here. There is not much community as we know in Italy, and there's something I miss between the two. Right now, I try to come back and apply the Italian culture here and create my own community in the US, and it's working because
Fantastic.
it takes time. Takes time. But I would say, sorry.
Nice that you can do that.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Yes,
Again,
of course.
because people choose to just work, that's fine, it's their choice. But for me, there is not only music, there is life, and it's just sometimes I would say like the life itself. When you make space for, that's probably my last thought. When you make space for love, when you make space for family, friends, and yourself, that what will make your music sound great, because that's what you will put into the music, not just the music itself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucia. It's been a pleasure.
It has been a great pleasure. It has been very precious.
I hope I was helpful somehow.
You were very precious, and thank you very much.
Thank you. So good to see you.